Welcome to A Double
and
Dice
with your hosts Kim
and Jocelyn.
Pour your favorite beverage.
Pull up a comfy chair.
Because we are ready to roll.
Welcome to episode 26 of A Double and Dice. And episode 26 is our last episode of the year.
Yeah, we made it a whole year, Kim.
Yeah, we made it a whole year of A Double and Dice. Look at us.
This one will make a year.
Celebrated times. Come on. So our next episode, which will be episode number 27, will be the beginning of another year. So that will be a pretty special episode, I think. We have no details yet, but it'll be special.
Well, we have details.
But we won't share them. No spoilers here. No spoilers here.
As Riversong would say, and she would shake her head and say, spoilers.
I don't know who that is.
That's from Doctor Who.
Okay. I'm sure there's some Doctor Who fans out there.
Absolutely, there are.
But in today's episode, we're actually going to take a look at the new upkit that's coming out. Oh, or it is out. It's the play-at-home upkit. You have
What's
to order
an upkit, Kim?
What's an upkit? Organized play kit. Usually you get these kits when you go out and play in your local favorite store. And they order an upkit, and you can play games, win the promo cards. So they're all promo cards, so they're not in actual sets. Promo cards are the blue stripes on cards. Mm-hmm. And so you could win them usually through there or through, organized in your local gaming store. But because of the world problem right now, pandemic, COVID, whatever you want to call it, WizKids decided to make a play-at-home op kit, which is something you can order off their website. It's for $10 US. And then there's the shipping. And I think if you go as a group, it becomes a little cheaper with shipping, which we did, which was much for us.
I think I saw online someone was saying that in the US, which is where the majority of our listeners are, the shipping was free if you hit $50, so you only needed 5, yourself and 4 friends.
There you go. Or order 5 and you'd probably be selling it on eBay.
That too. So these cards are pretty familiar to you and I, Kim.
Yes.
In a way.
We spoiled them, didn't we?
We did.
Well, not we.
We did.
Well, we and Matt.
Yeah, we and Matt.
Yeah.
Matt counts.
He's included in our we.
Yeah, he's part of the royal we.
Yes.
So we were very lucky to receive these spoiler cards from WizKids. So big thanks went out to Jimmy O'Brien over at WizKids, and that was a few months ago. At the time, we knew they were OP cards, but we didn't know when they were coming out or how they were coming out. And Jimmy sent them up to us to spoil, so we decided to have our very first ever trivia stream in which we used to spoil these cards. So that was a lot of fun for us to do that. And I think everyone enjoyed themselves at that. So we spoiled the cards a few months ago, and you can check that out on the YouTube, Kim?
Yep, it's on DMNorthTV YouTube site.
Perfect. YouTube.
I don't remember when we did that. Was that
DMNorthTV?
I can't remember when.
It was after we ran Roll for the North, I think, because those were part of the package of prizing. They weren't prizes, they were spoilers, but they were part of the package we received for the Roll for the North prizing. So there were 3 of them. There's a Spider-Man card, there's a Typhoid Mary card, and a basic action card. And they were just kind of out there floating in the ether, waiting to hear. And I think someone did discover that these cards were originally spoiled perhaps at the Memphis 2019 Worlds as part of the Spider-Man campaign box or the Spider-Verse team pack that was supposed to come out but has unfortunately been canceled. So now they've repurposed these cards into promo cards is what it looks like.
Yeah.
And I think of interest here is that the Spider-Man card and the Typhoid Mary card, the dice for those were in Infinity Gauntlet.
Yes, I didn't even notice that.
Yep. So that's where the dice on these cards are from, which is why when you buy the OP kit from WizKids Store or your friendly local gaming store, if it's available in your area, which we've heard from our friend DMArmada that it is supposed to be available at your gaming stores for order, if not now, very soon. You will have the dice if you have Infinity Gauntlet dice.
So that makes it pretty easy.
It does. And, if you don't have any Spider-Man dice or Typhoid Mary dice, just hit me up. I'm pretty sure I have a few kicking around after opening my draft packs.
I think we all have a lot.
Actually, Typhoid Mary took me a while to get a full set. I do think I have some extras, but I don't think I have a lot. I'm pretty sure I have more Spider-Mans. But I might have to keep some of those Spider-Mans, because how many max dice are on this Spider-Man card, Kim?
I know. Now that I noticed that, I gotta go see what extras I have.
It's got a max 6.
And make sure I have 6 of those dice. That's the first card I think we've seen in a long time that has a max 6.
The only other one with a max 6, I believe, is Multiple Man.
Yeah.
The Super Multiple Man.
So that was going a long time ago.
That was, what, Deadpool?
Yeah, so that's a while back. So yeah, we haven't seen anything really past max 4 in a while.
No, there's been some max 5s.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of max 5. There's some max 5s, I think, in the Warhammer set, she says, questioning.
I don't know, maybe.
But
maybe someone will tell us. Actually, I have some more cards here. Let me just quickly check on my desk here. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. No, not in my team.
There are some, I'm sure.
Yes, probably.
So
I probably haven't played.
Anyway, but either way, so what did we decide to do with this today, Kim?
So we are going to take this op kit. We're going to pick a card, which I think we already spoiled which card we're going to pick. And we are going to build a team around it.
That's right. Because we have ordered these cards and we are waiting for the shipping and customs gods to get them to us.
Yep.
Because we're up here in Canada land, as you guys know. So we have to wait for them to pass through the Canadian customs there. But in preparation for that, we thought we would build a team around one of these cards, as Kim said, so that when the dice come, or no, not when the dice come, when the cards come, we can pull out our dice and have a game with our new cards.
Yeah.
And we picked Spider-Man. So why did we pick Spider-Man?
Because it's Jocelyn's favorite.
I do like
hashtag Rare Spider-Man forever.
No, it's just hashtag Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
Because I like the uncommon too. It's not just it's hashtag, not just the rare.
Is the uncommon one the Overcrush one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you haven't heard about that one, I can't think of the subtitle right now, but head on over to dm-north.com, and under Out of the Shadows, there is a article there about the uncommon Spider-Man from Infinity Gauntlet and why it's really good, and it's not just about the rare anymore. 2 very different effects.
Are you becoming a Spider-Man fan now? Are you giving up Mr. Multi-Man? Mm-hmm.
I've always been a Spider-Man.
Before we go into the Spider-Man, just to mention the other 2 op cards were Typhoid Mary, which you mentioned, and the other one was a basic action.
Yeah, the basic action is called Slander.
No, Slingers.
Oh, that's what I meant. That's what I said. No, I'm just kidding. No, Slingers, you're right. Slander is a card from an old DC set, I think.
Yes, and it is a basic action, I believe.
Yeah, but it is not a 5 cost. And it has a completely different effect. So yes, there's a 5 cost basic action called Slingers. Did I get it right that time?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And then there is a 5 cost Typhoid Mary with an energize effect. Mm-hmm. But we have elected to build around the Spider-Man card, which is called the Wall Crawler of Forest Hills. And I didn't know. Did you know, Kim, that Spider-Man was in Toronto?
Really?
Yeah, because Forest Hill. It's like St. Clair and Bathurst, Forest Hill.
Really? Didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what it's called. I have a Loblaw store there. Anyway, sidebar. It's a very nice grocery
Now
store.
everyone's going to ask us what Loblaws is.
The Canadians will know.
That's true.
The British people might know too.
Let's have people guess
Loblaws
what that
is a grocery store.
Oh, you ruined it.
I know. I'm just going to do it now so we don't have to answer the questions later.
All
Loblaws is a grocery store, and as many of you know, I am an optician. And we have optical departments in these grocery stores, and I have an optical department in the Forest Hill store, which is why I picked this card.
Ah.
Wall crawler. Spider-Man Wall Crawler of Forest Hills.
4 cost, fist, with the Spider-Man affiliation.
Yep. So, what is Mr. Spider-Man's ability?
The first Spider-Man die you purchase each game costs 1 less. He also has a keyword on there, which is recruit, and that symbol, I believe, is a sidekick symbol. So it's recruit sidekick, and recruit keyword description, I couldn't think of that for a second there, says when this die damages an opponent with combat damage, move a sidekick die from your use pile, reserve pool, or prep area into your field on its level 1 character face.
So, what do we think of recruit as a mechanic? Recruit was introduced in Infinity Gauntlet.
I actually never played with it. Have you? You played any?
I have. I've played with it a little bit in sealed games. Mm-hmm. I haven't built any teams around it, so I'm kind of excited to build a team around this. I think that the qualifier on recruit, that it has to be combat damage to an opponent, as opposed to just combat damage, makes it a little trickier to trigger. So a little harder in draft or sealed, but probably a little easier in potentially constructed.
Yeah.
You should plan for it.
And there's not much. There's only 5 cards that have recruit. And a recruit could be a different action on each of those cards. So it's not only sidekicks in Spider-Man's case.
Yeah, so it recruits different things. Like, there's is it Rocket Raccoon and Groot? Like, Rocket Raccoon recruits shields and Groot recruits bolts or something. I'm not sure.
Groot recruits Rocket Raccoon, but Rocket Raccoon does not have a recruit on him.
Oh.
Yeah, he doesn't have a... I'm looking up recruit right now, and there's only Star-Lord, Typhoid Mary, Groot, 2 Groots, and Moon Knight.
I thought there was another one.
I'm only playing up 5, unless I can't spell recruit, but...
Or unless there's a typo in the team builder. For some reason, I thought there was a recruit on
Rocket?
Potentially a Gamora? And also a Rocket? But anyway, not important, because we're talking about Spider-Man.
You're talking about Rush. Here. Rush has Gamora.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
And Rocket has Rush, too.
So I'm thinking of the other R keyword that was introduced in Infinity Gauntlet.
Yes.
So anyway, so recruit. So you have to do combat damage to your opponent. So what is cool about the recruit ability in my mind is that typically what happens is when you do combat damage to your opponent, your die then goes to the use pile, which means you're leaving your field empty, right?
Right.
So with recruit, when you do that damage, you get to pull in something else, regardless, like depending on what the trigger is or what the trigger's not the right word. What the result of the recruit is. That's not what I wanted to say, but it's the same message.
Trigger sounds right. You're triggering whatever the
recruit is the trigger. So the damage is the trigger. And then the effect, maybe the effect is what I'm looking for, is...
Yeah, maybe.
You know, what you're pulling in. So you damage your opponent, but you're no longer leaving your field empty because you've recruited another die to come into the field. Right? So you push through for that blocker, or you push through for that damage, but then you have a blocker still available to you, which is awesome because, in my mind, for this very reason, I have what Rob calls the patented Jocelyn move.
Mm.
Are you familiar with this move, Kim?
I'm not. I'm intrigued.
You've probably seen me do it. It's Jocelyn gets frustrated and decides not to count her math and pushes with everything. And doesn't have enough for lethal and leaves her field empty so that she dies next turn. I don't do it as much anymore.
I never knew you actually did that.
But I have, especially in casual games that are running for a while, and I'm like, I don't know if I have enough. Do I have enough? Or I miscalculate and I push with everything and I don't have enough for lethal, and then I end up often dying as a result of that because I haven't left myself any blockers. So the recruit mechanic seems tailor-made for the patented Jocelyn move. So I'm excited about the recruit keyword. So what else are we going to put on this team, Kim, to make it cool? So we've got a 4-cost fist.
Yep.
And we're going to build it in modern, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Always modern. Hashtag modern. Modern forever.
Never go
all
there for
the
Jocelyn.
moderns.
So he's already going to be a 3-cost if you go first.
That's right. So, well, not if you go first. If he's the first die you purchase in the game.
Okay. So it doesn't matter.
So
as
it doesn't
long as
matter
it's on your
first
first
or
turn.
second,
Yeah.
As long as it's the first die you purchase. If you buy anything else, then his effect goes away. So the first thing you're going to buy is Spider-Man. So you're going to need a fist in order to do that. So how can we guarantee a fist in case we run into a problem with that?
Well, there's a global that can do it, which is off of Black Dwarf.
Right, I forgot about Black Dwarf.
Yeah.
I was just going to go Intellect Devourer.
That was one of my guess, but I thought let me do the other one first.
Okay, so
yeah,
go through Black Dwarf,
which is a sidekick to a fist. Intellect Devourer is good. I mean, you could change to a fist, but also you can change to anything else you wish too, right? So
I like the idea of using Black Dwarf, Kim, because you're only going to make a fist, and that's what you need.
Yep.
And it's less likely that your opponent is going to need a fist, right?
Right.
So, okay, so this is Black Dwarf Giant Axe. He is the rare. And this is actually potentially good if you actually buy him, because actually, I was going to say actually a bunch more times. Actually, when fielded, target non-Black Dwarf character die gets +2A and gains Overcrush until end of turn. So if you do buy him, you can give something else +2 attack and Overcrush. But he's really there for the global.
Yep.
Which is pay 0 once per turn on your turn. Spin one of your sidekick dice in the field or reserve pool to the fist face. So that should be our first purchase, right? Or not our first purchase, our first ad.
One of our cards. Yeah, our cards. One of our cards. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so Black Dwarf is there, and that would also help with the recruit ability because it doesn't say that Spider-Man has to be unblocked. It just says he has to do combat damage to your opponent. So giving him Overcrush is a way to do that.
Yes. Yep.
Right?
Or you can do him as unblocked as well.
All right. So how can we make him unblocked?
So there's one out of my head that I remember. Is it Ray Shields?
No.
Is there another one that gives
under
unblocked?
surveillance?
Oh, that's it. Under surveillance. That gives Overcrush Ray Shields.
Yes.
Yes.
Ray Shields gives +1A, +1D to 2 dice, and on a double burst face, it gives Overcrush.
So under surveillance gives your characters unblocked. There's no actual
target character die is considered to be level 1. A and D values, fielding cost, and burst if any, and is unblockable until end of turn.
So now, is that going to hinder Mr. Spider-Man? Because he's a 3-cost on his level 1. Oh, well, sorry, not 3-cost, a 3 attack on his level 1. So if you want to do more damage, you either need something to pump, or is there any other card that does unblockable?
Well, why don't you look that up, Kim?
Yes. I don't know if there is, actually. I always go to under surveillance.
I wonder if there's like a energize effect or something.
I don't think I ever came across one in modern.
How would we search this? Blocked?
I'm typing unblock into the search field.
You type unblocked. I'm typing blocked.
And just so everybody know, we're using tv.dicecoalition.com to do this, which has all the cards listed, and there's some search fields that you can do. Unblocked.
Try unblockable.
Are you doing unblocked?
I'm doing unblockable. But I don't get anything that's useful here.
No,
there's a couple of obscure dice, which come from the D&D set, which is the new keyword that came out in that set, which says when you use an action die, this character is unblockable until end of turn. That won't help because there's no way to give Spider-Man obscure.
Okay.
And then there's 3 other characters that have unblockable, which one is another Spider-Man promo card from 2019, Spider-Man Sneaky Pete. And Sneaky Pete is unblockable if he's attacking alone and you're underdogging, which means you have fewer dice in your field than your opponent. There's the Ant-Man that when he is spun up, he's unblockable, and there is the Poxwalker that is unblockable when attacking alone. So that's all we have in Modern to make things unblockable, except for under surveillance. So
we'd have to go with under surveillance.
Yeah. What another way could be to make sure that Spider-Man can't be blocked would be to do something with perhaps call out. If you had a die with call out, the call out keyword reads, when this character die attacks, the called out die is the only one that may legally block this die, and it may not block any other dice. So if you had something with call out, you could potentially, if your opponent had just one blocker, you could call that out so that it doesn't affect your Spider-Man. But most of these are fairly high costs. The cheapest one is a 4 cost. So there's the Infinity Gauntlet Star-Lord, King of Spartax. He's an Energize, up to 2 target character dice gain call out. So that's interesting.
I'm sorry, which character was that?
Star-Lord. It's the rare. There's a 4 cost fist from WWE. John Cena. The champ is here. He has call out. And there's a 4 cost Black Tom Cassidy, plans in motion, and he has fast and call out, which is kind of handy.
There's no basic action that forces characters to only block that character, right? There is, it's Doomlance, but it's only.
But then you can't attack with anything else.
Right, but there's nothing that you can attack with whatever, and something has to block that one in Modern. I don't think so. Yeah.
Between the two of us and our extraordinarily vast card knowledge.
Not of Golden.
Yeah. You're a little better at Golden than I am. Okay, so we've got Black Dwarf, so we can get our fist, right? If we roll a sidekick, or even if we don't roll a sidekick, we can get our fist. We have Under Surveillance, which can make Spider-Man unblockable. How else could we get cheaper Spider-Man? Well, we should probably put Clayface on this team, Kim.
Oh, our wonderful Clayface.
You have to learn how to use it.
So now the question is, if we put Clayface on here, do we need a Black Dwarf, or do we want to put Intellect Devourer? Because now what if you need a mask?
No, I think Intellect Devourer is far too strong.
So hopefully roll a question mark or a mask. Or you can even put a Prep Global.
We definitely want a Prep Global. Okay, so Clayface is really there for the global, which is pay a mask. Once per turn, you may take a die from your use pile and add it to your reserve pool on any energy phase. So that's a good way to get extra energy. The other thing we could think about would be the Kree Captain global.
Which will make him...
So you pay
3
2 fists, and he becomes 3 less, so he would cost 3 fists in that way, in that case.
Yep.
It's a lot of fists, though. That's why I think the Fist Fixer is a good idea. Maybe we should have Intellect Devourer and Black Dwarf.
Yeah, because if you roll 2 sidekicks, you can only roll down 1, right? Because it's once per turn.
So Intellect Devourer reads, pay 0 once during your turn. You may spin one of your active NPC character dice to an energy face of your choice. Move it to the reserve pool. So we'll throw that on the team. Okay, so we've got 4 characters now, 5 characters if we include Spider-Man, and 1 action. So we are over halfway through our team, and everything is utility to help us get Spider-Man.
Okay, so we have Kree Captain, right? The 2 Fist regular, you don't need anything else. Just the one with the global on it.
That's right.
Okay, Black Dwarf, Clayface, Spider-Man.
Yeah, and I put on Intellect Devourer, Deadly Puppet Master. Because if you ever did buy him, when your opponent spends a question mark, they take a damage.
Mm-hmm.
So if things go really south, you can buy Intellect Devourer, make him active, and penalize your opponent for spending question marks.
Now, if we're using Under Surveillance, and he's only going to be on his level 1, do we want Tag Out?
I like the idea of Tag Out. I was just playing with some Tag Out last night, actually.
And Tag Out is?
Tag Out is, after blockers are declared, you may prep this die from the field zone to give target superstar die plus 2A and plus 2D until end of turn. So you take it from the field zone, put it in your prep area, and give something else a buff. So if we look at that, let's sort this by numerical pricing.
Well, there's only 1 2 cost,
which is the Eddie Guerrero.
Yep, that's the only ability he has is Tag Out. So that would probably be your best bet because he is cheap.
He's bolts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then actually, there aren't any that are Fist characters.
Nope. Bolts, shields, masks.
There's a Fist shield with Kofifi Kingston.
It's a 4 cost.
But he's a 4 cost Fist mask. Okay, so we're going to go with Eddie Guerrero I Cheat, which has Tag Out.
Yep.
All right.
So 2 slots
put a
left.
Random Spider-Man on this team so that I don't.
So we know
that he's on there.
So we have 6 cards, 1 basic action. Well, we need a prep.
Well, remember that we're going to be recruiting sidekicks. So what can we do that makes sidekicks even better?
Like to put them out in the field, or what do you mean by making them better?
Well, Spider-Man recruits sidekicks, so how can we buff them if we wanted to try and, for example, overwhelm our opponent? So what would be good to make sidekicks even better?
Is there even a sidekick maker better?
Well, I mean, I don't know. There's got to be a way to make sidekicks better. I know lots of people that are listening to this are probably like, well, in Modern, there's no allies, and that's what makes sidekicks good. But ally is a keyword that is given to some characters in past sets that are sidekicks in the field zone. So, let's see. Is there anything that gives sidekicks like a plus attack or a plus defense?
Lita gives them when they're... Actually, does Spider-Man say when they're... It says move or field? Field, okay. So, Lita gives... So when you field a sidekick, deal 1 damage to target super character. Oh, sorry, I thought that was to your opponent, but... So that's if you field a sidekick.
So, Charlotte Flair, when she's active, when an opposing sidekick is fielded. That's no good. There, Charlotte Flair, the queen. While Charlotte Flair is active, your sidekick get plus 1A and plus 1D.
I think that she's the only one that buffs sidekicks.
Well, there's something else that buffs sidekicks.
Like Captain America, probably.
Yes, but that's golden. I was thinking of the Typhoid Mary that's in this promo kit. So the Typhoid Mary that's in this promo kit reads 5 cost Bolt Mask with the affiliation The Hand, and she has an Energize ability. Your sidekick character dice and hand character dice get plus 2A and Overcrush at the beginning of this attack step. So we could potentially put this Typhoid Mary on the team with the Spider-Man from the same OP kit.
And look, she's a max 5, but she's also very expensive. But then again, we have a lot of discounts on our team. So she could be an option.
She could be an option, because she would buff sidekicks. I'm looking at other things that might buff sidekicks. There's a lot of cards that have the word sidekick in them.
So, no. I was going to say I thought I found a Captain America, but no, it only gives plus 2D to your sidekick.
What about anything that just buffs characters in general? There was an action in Infinity Gauntlet. It's not Raise Shields. Is it Power Surge?
I don't know. Let's take a look. There is one called the target psychic character die gets +2/+2, but it's only one.
Power Surge. Each of your active character dice get +1A, +1D. Also, up to 2 target character dice gain Overcrush. Global. Pay a bolt. Target character die gets +1A. So if your Eddie Guerrero does not roll on a character face to tag out, you can bolt him up.
Mm-hmm.
So that could work. This is a very, very much a casual team. Because as you've noticed, we haven't put any control on here. And we haven't put any removal. But, it's something we could do. We could do Power Surge.
There's that one that I had found that buffs all your characters +1/+1 by using double shield.
Which one's that?
It's a global. And I thought it was Reboot, but it's not Reboot. It is another character.
So it's shield. It gives all of them?
All your characters, yes. I use it for Orbital Strikes.
Drax has it. It says target character die gets +1A, +1D.
That's target. No, this one gives all of them. And it's from that set, because from one, I think it's Warhammer set. But I don't really know why I cannot remember his name. I thought it was Reboot. So it's not Reboot.
It's from the Warhammer set?
It's global. And you pay something, and all your characters get +1/+1.
Interesting. Well, where's your orbital strike list, Kim?
Let me get my wallets, because it's always in there, right?
Okay, so we need to look at Battle for Ultramar, Orcs, and Space Wolves. And we need to filter by globals.
Can you even filter by globals?
Oh, here we go. Yeah, well, I just typed the word global in the thing. I found it for you, Kim.
There we go.
It is Primaris Aggressor.
Oh, it was Primaris Aggressor. Okay.
It's on 2 of his dice. And it says pay 2 fists. Once per turn, all character dice get +1A. Well, that's handy.
Yeah, so it's double fist, more fists, but...
We're going to pick the one that says frag.
Wonder why.
So we just have to decide on our second basic action.
Yeah. What might be good too is since Kree Captain is a 2-fist and you need fists, you can always buy him, put him in, and Kree Captain him over.
Kree Captain him over?
I mean, Clayface him over.
Yes.
And just cycle him that way.
Okay, so we have the Black Dwarf for the fist fixing, the Intellect Devourer for a second global fixing of a die. We have Clayface to help us get more energy. We have Kree Captain to reduce the costs of things.
Mm-hmm.
We have a way to buff sidekicks with Charlotte Flair, because she gives them +1A, +1D. And we have a way to give all of your dice +1A, which is spending 2 fists. So we have one basic action, and we also have a way to send something through unblocked, which is under surveillance. So we need a second basic action. So we do not have a prep global.
We do not. So we do have a few options.
In the basic action slot?
Well, maybe just one option that I can think of.
Villainous Pact.
Yeah, or Counter-Strike, but Counter-Strike's only... You got to have something in your use pile for that to work.
So Villainous Pact allows you to prep from your bag, which means it can help you reset your bag. Whereas Counter-Strike has the global that allows you to prep a sidekick from your use pile, but it doesn't reset your bag.
No.
It just
and then walk with alliance. Yeah, walk with alliance thins your bag too. Allow you to prep too.
Professor X from X-Men Forever, same thing. But walk with alliance is on a basic action.
So we can get Villainous Pact.
Yeah, we could do Villainous Pact because I'm looking at the team and I don't like to put Villainous Pact on a team. Do you want to pull up the text of Villainous Pact, Kim?
Yep, I have it here. So Villainous Pact.
Unless you have villains on your team. I don't like to put Villainous Pact on my team.
So your opponent chooses one non-villain character die. All other non-villain character die cannot block this turn. Have you ever seen anybody actually buy Villainous Pact?
Yes.
Really? I've never had anybody ever buy it on me or use it on me. It
can be a win condition.
Yeah?
If your opponent is not running any villains, it's really easy to walk across that field. It could also be, potentially, a way for you to get your Spider-Man across the field.
Mm-hmm.
If your opponent's not running any villains, they're only going to be able to block with one, right? You with me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think we would buy it, though, but...
But you could.
Yeah, you could.
Okay. So, Villainous Pact. Why is nothing coming up for me? Oh, because I'm stuck on... I'm not stuck on. I'm still searching just Warhammer. All right, so let's talk about our team, Kim.
Okay. I don't think I missed anything other than I can. Okay.
A lot of globals. Spider-Man. We have our Spider-Man, which is the idea here. We're going to buy lots of Spider-Man. We're going to do it by using Kree Captain globals and Clayface globals and Intellect Devourer globals and Black Dwarf globals to help us get all of the energies we need and to get as many energies as we can. Then we have Charlotte Flair, which if we make her active, she gives our sidekicks +1A and +1D. So when Spider-Man recruits them, they're not just 1/1s, they're 2/2s.
Yep.
Then we have Under Surveillance as a way to help our Spider-Man get through to deal damage to the opponent. And then the other way we have to do that is to use Black Dwarf. If you field Black Dwarf, he gives target non-Black Dwarf character die +2A and Overcrush. So you have a way to get damage through to your opponent through the overcrushing Spider-Man. You have Primaris Aggressor to give the global to all of your dice. You pay 2 fists and everybody gets +1 attack. We have Eddie Guerrero for Tag Out. So he can be in the field and you can prep him and roll him again next turn to give something +2 attack. And you have Villainous Pact to reset your bag with the global. And a secondary way to potentially get Spider-Man through.
This is the first time I've seen a team we've built that has so much globals on it. Every card has a global
1,
except
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 3 cards without globals. Spider-Man, Charlotte Flair, and Eddie.
Nope. Oh yeah, Spider-Man. I forgot. I thought he had global for reeling.
No, there's no global on Spider-Man. He just costs 1 less if he's the first die you purchase in the game.
And you buy all 6 of them.
I wonder how you could buy all 6 of them. I wonder if you would do Big Entrance or Yawning Portal or something.
What's his fielding costs? It's not much, right?
His highest level is a 1. He's
so it's
1/1.
actually not that bad.
Yep. Okay, so this is Spider-Man OP 2021. And that is the team that I put together. The Spider-Man on this team is the Sneaky Pete because he's a 4-cost fist. And he's got the same stat line as the OP kit, that's coming. So when you look at this in the show notes and you're like, why is that the Spider-Man there? Well, that's because the OP kit Spider-Man is not in the team builder yet.
So who do we need to talk to about adding these up kits to the Dice Coalition page?
I think that's Truby.
Hey, Troopy, we need the... Upkit's added to the Dice Coalition page.
You could send him a note through Discord. He's a Flexi. Flexi is his Discord name.
I should do that because we noticed that today actually wasn't in there yet.
Yeah. Okay, so there we go. So that is our team. So Kim, Jocelyn, we both should put this exact same team together and then play it against each other.
We should do that. Do you think we should do one of our, I guess, future episodes, not next episode, another gameplay episode?
Well, we should ask our listeners how they feel about that. What did you guys think of the gameplay episode? Did you listen to it as a podcast? Did you watch it on YouTube? Did you do as we recommended, both of those things? Did it work as a podcast? Let us know. We didn't hear anything from anyone on that one.
So we didn't when we asked last time, right?
No, we didn't. But,
No, we did. Didn't Donnie tell us he likes to watch the gameplay and us going at each other?
Yeah, but that was on the YouTube.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah.
So we didn't get anything about the podcast version of the audio game. So let us know what you think of the podcast version of the audio game. Okay, so there's our team, Kim.
All right. It should be interesting to play.
If you have listened to this episode, which I hope you have since you're here, and hopefully you weren't just, listening to us babble and not pay attention. What would you do with this Spider-Man team differently than us? Would you focus on buffing the sidekicks and finding ways to get more Spider-Man purchased faster? Would you look at the unblockable or the overcrush option? I know there's obviously better cards and even better Spider-Man to do this with, but we want to use the cards that we're purchasing. So let us know what you would do with Spider-Man, the Wall Crawler of Forest Hills.
Yep. Send us a team link and, we can also take a look. Maybe we can even play it.
We could. Maybe we could get, if we get some team link submissions, one of us could play this team and the other one could play submission team.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. So that is our team. So we'll put that in the show notes. And that was fun to build.
Yeah. Maybe we should do the other ones at some point. The Typhoon Mary is not bad. It's just...
I don't even think Slingers. I keep wanting to call it Slander. Slingers is bad. I think it's interesting. I think there's some things you can do with it. So maybe we will build with other cards in the future. Which of these cards from the OP kits are you excited about? Like, listeners, let us know.
Yeah. Cool. So I will send that message. Maybe by the time you do your show notes, it'll be in the Dice Coalition page.
Maybe, and then I can update it.
Yes. All right. Well, how's that mailbag? I think our mailbag was overflowing last episode.
We got a lot of feedback on the last episode. There was a lot of feedback, and we want to thank everyone for taking the time to write. We got some really long and detailed and focused comments on the dm-north.com post on our website. We got some really long and detailed emails. It would take quite a while to read through them. But I just want to, and as we had promised, we're keeping anonymity. We're not going to say anyone's names. But we do want to thank you guys and gals and everyone who sent feedback about the Dark Phoenix, what are we calling it? Funk? The funk that the online community seems to be in about the Dark Phoenix.
Just the funk.
Lack of communication.
Community funk. That sounds like a song.
Community funk. So we got a ton of feedback, and we really, really appreciate everything that you guys did and said and sent in about that. So I think the overall themes that we heard were it's not so much about the delays, but the continued lack of communication. So that WizKids isn't sharing more information with us as the community. That's one of the things that was upsetting some people, which I think we had thought about in the episode. One thing we didn't think about, because our local store doesn't require this, is that people have sunk money into pre-orders. Right?
Yes.
So you've spent money. It's sitting at a game store, which in these times you don't know if that game store is going to potentially succeed or fold, because in a lot of places in the world, a lot of these stores are being forced to close or only provide curbside pickup and things like that because of COVID. And there could be concerns that these stores are closing and your money is going to be lost. And that's something that didn't occur to Kim or I, because our local store doesn't require us to pay for our pre-order until it is ready to ship, which we're super grateful for. So I think we're very lucky in that way. I didn't realize that other people were not. That other people had to put the money out in advance. It wasn't something we thought about because we've never had to go through that. So you've got money tied up in money tied up in pre-orders with no release date and no communication. So I can absolutely see how that could be frustrating. But I did want to thank one listener who also sent a second follow-up. So after listening to the episode, this listener sent us a message with a very detailed, feedback about, why this person was sort of upset and frustrated with what was going on with the delays and the communication. It also included a lot of some great suggestions that I think we'll talk about on a future episode about how we could, create some energy in the community. But then a couple days later, our good friends over at the Ministry of Dice, Chris and Andy, spoiled the official news about the OP kits being available from WizKids directly, and that it was the first of several planned. And that listener reached back out and said, hey, I know I sent you this email about the communication and the frustration and what have you, but I'm really encouraged by the fact that WizKids has sent this information out to someone in the community so to share. As spoilers, the product is available to order, and it's the first of several being planned. So that really lifted the spirits of this particular Dice Masters player, I think, as it did for many of us. So I think that was great news to get at that particular time.
Yeah.
So again, thanks to everyone who reached out, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah. Thanks for being honest with us, and
yeah,
we appreciate that. What's going on with
the event calendar, Kim?
Oh, there's an event coming up in February 20th at 2 p.m.
You're asking. It sounds like you're asking a question, or either that, or you're doing some Shatner speak. There is an event coming up. No.
Yes. Yes. Dice Social is coming up on Saturday, February 20th at 2 p.m. Eastern. We do have a theme.
We have a theme, really? For sure.
Should we spoil our theme?
We should.
Yes, we should. So our theme is we're calling this one Odd One Out. Mm-hmm. Because we're in the month of February, and Jocelyn says February is odd because it has 28 days only, and it can sometimes have 29, so it's odd.
It's an odd month.
Yeah, it's a very odd month. So we're calling this one Odd One Out. And what you have to do, and this is modern preferred, if you can build modern, great. If you can't, just because of your cards, you don't have much modern cards, feel free to build whatever you like that at least fits the theme. If you can't, that's fine. Just build whatever you like. We just want people to come out and play and have fun. Yep. So your team, including your basic actions, must consist of odd numbers for cost. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. There is no 11.
Not yet.
But we know there's a 9 mm-hmm. and 7s. Mm-hmm. So that's it. Just build a team.
3s and 5s.
Yep. Build a team. Has to be odd numbers, including your basic action. So all 10 cards on your team must be an odd number for purchase cost.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's the theme.
That is the theme. We'll have it up in our Discord soon. The channel, Dice Social Discord soon.
And we'll drop it on the dm-north.com Facebook, dm-north.com website as well.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yep. Yes, we usually have an article up for that. Mm-hmm. So February 20th, which is 2 weeks away from recording of our episode, which is the 4th today.
Yeah. 2 weeks away from the recording of the episode, and from the drop date, it's a little over 2 weeks from now, and a little bit less than 2 weeks for the drop date.
Yep. And we can also mention your favorite mod PDM is having an event.
MOD PDM?
Yeah. March 27th, I believe it is. Saturday.
I did hear a rumor about that.
Yes. So it's they have a channel up on the Discord. No full details yet, other than the date. So mark your pencil, your calendar. Did he say? I think it was 5:30 UK time.
Yeah, so that would be like 12:30 here.
12:30 Eastern time.
12:30 Eastern.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw there was a Facebook event as well.
Yes. So they'll have all their information up on BritRoller6.com site once that comes up.
Yep, so stay tuned to the Facebooks and the Ministry of Dice podcast and, as Kim mentioned, the BritRoller6.com website for full details on the upcoming MOD PDM, which I'm sure Chris and Andy will be shortly spoiling whatever the theme is for that, and hopefully you'll be able to come out and roll some dice.
Yeah, should be fun. I can't wait to see what the theme is. I hinted DC, but I don't know.
Well, I have a smidgen of potential inside information.
Oh, so. No. We will not
I'm not going to share it because it's not my spoiling.
Yes.
No spoilers.
She's the one who knows this. I don't know this, so.
Yeah. No, they're going to put it something fun. It's going to be fantastic. And if you want to roll dice for however many rounds they can come up with based on the number of participants, definitely look into that for March 27th.
Cool. I think that's it for events coming up.
I think so. I think the event calendar is full at this point, as far as what we know what's going on. Oh, so we got Dice Social on the 20th of February. We've got the MOD PDM on March 27th.
Yes, Saturday, March 27th. Awesome. So where can everybody reach us, Jocelyn?
All right. So you can send us an email at dmdpodcast@dm-north.com. You can go to our website, dm-north.com, and leave a comment on any of our episode posts, which we will very happily review and respond to. Or you can find us on any of the socials places, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch. Is Twitch really considered a social? It's a streaming. At DMNorthTV. And those are the places you can find us. So please send us a note, drop us a line, and let us know what you think. And until next time, on a double and dice.